Can we be done with everybody else but Terrence Crawford? Can we just do Errol Spence versus Terrence Crawford?
When we think of potential in boxing, not only do we think of prospects that are yet to shine a light on the sport, but more so the future fights that have the caliber to put boxing back on the map.
That shit gonna be easy work, I promise you.
And with this being said, it's privy that a matchup between two particular individuals has overwhelmed the boxing scene in demand and anticipation to make a future mega fight it rightfully deserves.
I just tell people I don't need him, he really need me.
Two current pound-for-pound stars that have built endless tension with one another over the years, now coming to its peak, a fight between Terrence "Bud" Crawford and Errol "The Truth" Spence is a showdown that has to happen.
Let you do it right now.
Yeah, tell Maggie Pacquiao come back over here.
In what was likely to be the biggest fight of the year, Spence versus Pacquiao was yet another night that slipped the net from fight fans. After suffering a detached retina, Spence Jr. had to withdraw from his bout with the Filipino.
When they told you about the fact that Errol Spence pulled out of the fight, thus inserting your Dennis Ugas.
I pray for his fast recovery of Errol Spence.
And as a last-minute replacement, your Dennis Ugas would step up to claim a career-changing victory that now places him firmly in the sights of welterweight's finest.
And still champion, your Dennis Ugas.
Over the past few years, Errol has perfected his resume to high standards, taking out big names within the sport.
Spence said that's what he wanted to do. Shawn Porter was in the middle of a punch right there and he got caught right on the chin.
Spence not only has the physical gifts to overwhelm the speed and punching power, the mental toughness to navigate choppy waters, but the southpaw skills and discipline to match.
After spending over a year out at the ring, it was time for one of boxing's biggest stars to make a comeback. Without taking a warm-up, his first fight back was against a game opponent in Danny Garcia.
He's such a complete boxer, but there's a hard left hand by Errol Spence drives Garcia back through the body.
Having his moments, Garcia managed to cause Errol a few problems throughout the rounds. But still, Garcia was no significant match for even a ring-rusted version of Spence, as Errol edged the scorecards in a closer-than-expected fight.
He was just giving him too much respect. He heard him at one time. So the only thing Danny did wrong today, he didn't get busy enough.
With his return to the sport taking a good first step, now comes a time to ask what's next for welterweight superstar. The fight with Pacquiao is a definite no-go now, after he recently announced retirement from the sport in recent news, leaving Spence with the most likely option to challenge Ugas for a unification bout could be on the cards next. But it's the mega fight in which people are calling for that has to happen sooner or later, against one man who follows closely in his slipstream.
I want the money, the power, respect, and I heard you know so-and-so, you not a threat, cause I really know so-and-so, they like my family, so they go
In common debates, Crawford has often been compared to Errol as being the man to defeat him. In fighting similar opponents and outskilling them in every department, we can see why.
Once Crawford starts getting his jab landing, then he's able to set up his combinations.
Oh, he scores a knockdown! Bud Crawford with a first-round knockdown!
Unlike Errol, Crawford has more to his arsenal. The ability to switch stances and create greater angles due to being more fleet-footed around the ring.
He dropped him, hit him with the right hand and the left hand.
And after holding world championship titles in 3 weight classes already, it's easy to see how he fits in perfectly as a top contender at his new home in the 147 division.
Well, this is your weight class now. This has always been my weight class.
You're right. This is my weight class now. When I entered it, it's mine. It's mine.
Right, yeah.
It's mine.
Whatever, like it.
His last outing was against a mutual opponent in Kell Brook back in 2020. who'd already been defeated by the likes of Errol 4 years ago in a world title collision.
He became a world champ once, and he had titanium fused to his orbital bones twice. Now he's refreshed. Can he do what no other fighter has, what 36 have failed at?
Brook, not being the fighter he once was, played things cautiously from the opening bell. And having success at times, he made Crawford work right up until the 4th round, where he failed to react quick enough to Bud's swift counter.
He's going to let his combinations go. Beautiful right hand. And the champ gets to him. Just like that. Terrence Bud Crawford hits the gas.
Although he made lighter work of the Brit than Spence did, it's still not seen as the deciding factor to whether he is the better boxer of the two. Crawford soon to go head-to-head with another of Errol's past opponents, as he takes on a risky task facing the relentless pressure of Showtime Shawn Porter.
You feel like, on paper, this is the toughest opponent.
It is, man.
And why is that, Shawn?
It is because I think more than Errol Spence Jr., more than Keith Thurman, Terrence Crawford is the most versatile fighter in the world.
This could help give us a much clearer idea of where both men are at in comparison. But being higher up on the pound-for-pound list does place Crawford in good stead for the betting odds. Yet Errol still carries the more polished resume, as well as being the bigger pay-per-view attraction, leaving Terrence as the possible B-side.
Because him and Crawford, god damn, what a fight that would be.
And who knows if he'll carry the power now at welterweight with a elite fighter like Spence. I don't know and now people are like, you got to say, hey.
Standing face to face, Errol has the slight height advantage, but Crawford has an extra 2 inches in reach that helps level the playing field. Another 10 more fights on his resume may help Bud in experience, but the level of opposition still gets shadowed by the names on Errol's.
I feel like I'll wash Terrence Crawford.
You think you'll wash him?
Yeah, I feel like I'll beat him. I'll punish him.
Though going in his favor is Crawford's general versatility, which will no doubt help give him an edge against Errol's more one-dimensional style.
I just tell people I don't need him. He really need me.
Well, we need it. Boxing, right? Don't you agree?
Yeah, boxing do need that.
Boxing needs it.
That shit gonna be easy work, I promise you.
I'm solid as a rock.
Wow, bro.
There's always going to be questions until you and Crawford fight. How optimistic, if at all, are you that you can get Crawford in 2021?
How about that? There's no quitting Gamboa. He keeps battling, falling forward. Uppercut, drops him again. It's all over.
The outcome would likely be a high-speed chess match. At first, abiding their time tactically, figuring one another out, to then potentially get more heated as the mid to latter rounds approach. Errol will use his pressure and size to force Bud back on the ropes, but Crawford will not stay seated long enough to let Spence get off his arsenal of shots.
Officially scoring it for Spence and going down to Jerry. He has a wounded prey and he knows it. And Spence puts him back down, and that's it.
Being just 2 years apart in age and at the peak of their prime, couldn't be a better time to let these two stars go at it. Two styles that would collide in perfect harmony as both gun for the ultimate bragging rights.
Only once there is such demand for a fight that it makes sense for competing promoters and networks to do business with one another do we get the fights we really want, the super fights.